everybody, it's Sandy Reese with Stampin'Up.com, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and yes, I can speak English. Welcome to our Thursday tutorial. I have a cute little box I'm going to show you how to make today. But first, last week we had made these, let me pull them up, little treat bags out of one sheet of Designer Series paper. And I had some shares, so I drew a name today for our winner, and they are going to go to Rita Doherty. So congratulations, Rita. So make sure you guys share the video to be entered into a drawing for these boxes we're going to make today. So let me flip you upside down before I forget here. Hi, cats. See if we can get that right. I'm going to bring it up just a hair. And up. Oh my gosh. I had this just perfect earlier today. Okay. That looks pretty good. Alright, so here's the box we're going to make. It's just a simple little red box. It says you're just like chocolate. And when you pull the belly band off, it says you make everything better. And then you open it up and we have a Twix cookies and cream candy bar in here. So I wanted to kind of teach you, boxes are not hard to make, and I know a lot of you struggle with it on trying to figure out dimensions. And so I'm going to show you my thought process as I'm walking through this box today. We are using the Nothing's Better Than stamp set and the Love You More Than dies. So I love this set. This is one of our $1 million sales earner Connie Stewart's stamp set that she helped design. And we're actually having a class on this later in the month. Today is the last day to register for that class. We're going to be making 6 awesome projects. I'm going to give you a couple, show you a couple more today that we've made with this. So if you want to go sign up for the class, you go to Stampin'Up.com and just click on class registrations. Here is, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of just a couple of the projects we're going to make. This is one of them. This is actually my favorite one. It's very simple, but it is just so cute. Says today is a cocktails kind of day because adulting is hard. We all have those days once in a while. Alright, then here's one more I'm going to give you a sneak peek on. I've been seeing these slimline cards, which are just long, skinny cards. They fit like in a regular envelope, number 10, I think a number 10 office envelope. So the cards are long and thin. You're gonna learn how to make a little faux chocolate bar using cardstock. Isn't that cool? I don't know if you can see the definition, but this says a day without chocolate is just like, just kidding. I have no idea. So we're gonna make 4 more projects, which are so cute. So I would encourage you, if you want to, you can sign up online. You can do a kit to go, so you do not have to be local and attend the class. We're going to do a Facebook Live as well. So, yeah, I'm excited about this class. All right, so back to our project. So I was at the store the other day, and I saw these in the checkout line. I'm like, oh, those are really long, skinny, candies. And this would be a good challenge to show how to make a box. So when I go to make a box, I figure out, first I buy whatever I want to put in it. Then I'm going to measure how big to make my box. So what I do is get a piece of grid paper. We sell this grid paper, or you can just measure it. This makes it real easy though. So I start with the candy on its side, and I see how thick it is, and I'm like, okay, it's going to have to be at least 3/4 of an inch thick. And then turn it this way, and let's see, it's going to have to go, it's about 2 inches wide. Then the next side I know is going to be 3/4, so 1, 2, 3/4, and then another 2 inches for the top. So we can just go up, that's 3.5, 5.5, and then I need a little flap to stick in. So that's going to give it a 1/2 inch. So I know my paper needs to be 6 inches. I'm going to write this down. Well, I don't know if you can see that. 6 by, and then let's see how long it needs to be. We need to go start with 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to put my long measure, marks over here. And we're going to be generous and say, we'll go to about 8 1/4. And then we have 3/4. So right now we're at about 9 inches, 6 by 9. Now, if I can get 2 out of a sheet of cardstock, that's the ultimate goal, is to get at least 2 out of a sheet. So the question is, can I get this down to 5.5 by 8.5? All right, candy and stuff always comes with extra packaging. These little ends can fold up. There's air. You can squeeze it a bit. What if I were to bring it down just a little bit? I know I can't get it any flatter than 3/4, but can I go less than 2 inches wide? If I squeeze the extra air out, I could probably go down to 1 3/4 inches. If I go to 1 3/4 over here, there's my eraser. If I go to 1 3/4, and then I add 3/4 for my side, so that's 1, 2, 3, and then 1 3/4 instead of 2, I can bring my box down to 5.5 and still have my flap. I'm just taking a 1/4 inch off of the width, the width of the box. So instead of 2 inches wide, it's only 1 3/4 inches wide. And then I can get it down to 5.5. Now 9 inches, I measured with these flaps out. If I bring those flaps in, I can easily knock out 1/2 inch. I could almost knock out 3 3/4 of an inch, but I can bring that down to 8.5. All right, so then when I go to make my measurements, I take my box at 5.5 by 8.5. So I have a piece 5.5, and this takes just a little practice. You need to make some. I always make it on a piece of cheap throwaway cardstock, generic. I don't use my good Stampin' Up! Cardstock, but I'll make one until I get the right size, and then I'll make a template so that I have it. So I'm going to use my scoring tool, and on my long side, right here, I'm going to score it at 3/4 of an inch from either side. So I can do it at 3/4 and then 7 3/4. Okay, so that gives me 3/4 of an inch for my flaps. Then I'm going to turn it 90 degrees on my short side, and we are going to score it at 3/4 of an inch for the first side. Then we're going to score it, add 1 3/4, so that's going to make it 2.5, and then 3 1/4, and 5. All right. And I will post measurements a little later today on my blog, so you can look for project photos, instructions, and measurements and supplies. All right, so now we're going to cut our flaps. So we always cut in, oh, my phone's ringing, cut in on your side flaps. We're going to just cut in on all of those on both sides. Okay. All right, let me see if I can hang that up just a second. It's a junk collar. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so we've cut in our tabs. And then if you're not sure which tabs to cut off or not, an easy way to do it is just go ahead and fold on your score lines. You can just do a quick finger press. And this will show you where to fold and where to cut off your tabs. All right, so our box is going to assemble. We'll just put all of our tabs out for right now so you can see where to put which tab. So it's going to go over, this is my tab that will go on the inside. So the inside tab, you never need to have this extra, this little piece here, because just that little tab's going to fit in. So cut off your little pieces right there. And then I always angle my tab that I'm going to stick in so it doesn't catch. It's nice and smooth. So you can angle your tab that's going to go inside your box. All right, so on the sides, we want to have this one come in. We want to have our bottom tabs like this come in, and then this is going to come over. Now you can cut these off if you want, or you can just angle them so they will go down inside of your box. So I'm going to angle. I'm going to leave my tabs on for now and just angle them. So this is the top of my box. Okay. I'm going to angle these. Then I need the rest of my tabs to add stability to the bottom of the box. But it's always good to angle those tabs or cut off the corners. Oh, I hear it raining. Got a little rainstorm outside. Just angle those tabs a bit or cut off the corners so you don't have any problems with them sticking out above your box or causing any problems. Okay. So we have everything is mitered and ready to go. I'm going to use my 1.5 inch punch, and I'm going to just punch a little bit of a notch right in the center, not much, just a little bit. Now this is on the box front because this is going to slide down in there, and having that notch will help me to pull my lid out. So it's not necessary. I didn't do it on this one, but you know, why not? Why not, right? Just to add something, a little something fun. All right, so next we're going to assemble. I'm looking for some of my tear and tape, which is all in my projects downstairs. I'll see if I have a little bit here. I've got a little bit left on this roll. All right, so my tabs, you're always gonna do, I'm just putting my tabs here. My tabs are gonna go on the inside of my box. So it's just the 4. I don't need to put any adhesive on the top. So I'm gonna pull this off here. Flip this up, and my tabs are going to go inside the sides of my box, just like that. And make sure you get them squared up so they're nice and even right there in the corner. And then do the same thing on the other side. Put it inside your box. Just like that. So now you should be able to put everything inside. If it's too tight, you might need to trim a little bit, but that's perfect. It's snug, but it fits in nice and smoothly. So let's make sure candy will fit in there. Candy fits in there just right. I've got a lot of extra candy wrapper on the side, so it's just going to get my sides in there. This is snug, but that's okay. Then they can't shake it to see what it is. They have to actually open it. All right, so that is to make the box. Now I'm going to add a belly band. So I cut this, it's about 3.5 inches by 5.5. So I can get 6 belly bands out of a piece of cardstock. And what I want to do is start on this back corner. Okay, on the back side. And then I'm going to just do a little mark. Now, if you're using designer paper, it's very easy to wrap this around. Cardstock's a little thicker. So if I can get a little crease to know where that fold is, I can just take it off and do a good crease. This is a really easy way to do it without measuring. Because, you know, who wants to measure everything? We just measured that box. I don't want to measure anything else. Okay, so next I've got a little crease for the next part. So now I've got 2 creases. Bring this around. Let's see if we can get a little crease going on the next one. And you can just take it off and fold it so that your sides are even. Alright, so we're doing good. We've got one more crease here. And this is where it's going to overlap. And you can just glue it together. And that's just going to be a small tab. Alright, so I'm going to have it go around in the back. And then put my little flap in first, and this one right here, and that way you don't have a seam anywhere. It's just the seam will be right on the corner, and you won't even notice it. So you could use some tear and tape right there, or liquid glue, or whatever you want to do. I'll take that off and just put a little bit of tear and tape on that little skinny flap. Peel that off. And you can actually, this should just go down, fold flat right on top of that sticky flap like that, and make a nice smooth belly band. And get it inside there. We want it snug, okay, because we don't want it sliding off. There's nothing worse than picking it up and then your belly band just falls right off. So you want it pretty snug. All right. So the rest is just decorating, which I just like to choose the colors that are in my, on the candy, which were red. We had espresso, we had a little bit of Pacific Point, and then we had a metallic brass color. So I just cut, this is 1 inch by 1 by 4 of metallic, of the brass foil sheets. And I'm just going to glue this to my belly band. So make sure that you're only gluing to the belly band. If you glue it to the box, you're not going to be able to get the belly band off, and then you can't open it. So I didn't put a whole lot of embellishment or anything on it. I just wanted something very simple, very cute, but something that was just a little, you know, pretty streamlined. So I'm going to stamp on this one, on the white. I'm going to stamp, you're just like chocolate. So let's stamp this in the center. I put it on my blue so I could kind of eyeball where I'm stamping. And I'll put measurements for these on the blog a little later. And this is just a very thin blue. I didn't want a lot of blue, just a little bit. Alright, and we're going to put chocolate here. And don't use too much Tombow. I just put little dots here and there. I don't put a lot. I just put just enough to hold it in place. It's so shiny. I love it. Alright, and we're going to adhere this with just a couple of dimensionals. And center it. That looks pretty centered. Alright, so it says you're just like chocolate, but why? Why are you just like chocolate? So it says because you make everything better. So I just took 1.5 inch circle punch. I have an older style one. And I like that this is a belly band because I have to take it off to open it, but then you can put this, it's like a little surprise thing on the bottom. And I don't pop it up because it's got to go under the belly band. And you could also open up your box. Oh, I put it on the bottom. Hello. Oh, don't look at that. I didn't put it on the top of the box. I'll erase that later. I can remove that with my adhesive remover. Oh, that's funny. You see how the colors? I just use the colors that coordinate with the candy packaging. Hello. See, I do that too, so don't you ever feel bad if you put something on upside down. It happens to all of us. All right. You know what? This is giving me a little struggle to get my flaps in. So if it's giving you a struggle, if your candy's too tight, you can trim off your flaps just a little bit. You know, always feel free to adjust your boxes or change things up if it's not working. You know, just designing, oh, that's so much better. Fits in there a lot better if it's with a little shorter tab. All right, so now we have You Make Everything Better. Gonna squeeze it back into our belly band, which is pretty tight. It's a lot easier to get it off than it is to get it back in. But with your, maybe I don't have it closed all the way. Okay. Usually people that you give them to are not going to, are going to open them up and eat them. So there won't be too much belly band moving going on. And if it catches just a little bit, press down on your circle. Whoops, went underneath. Get that circle glued on really well. Okay. And that is it. I'm going to remove that later. So if you share this video, you'll be entered into a drawing. I'm going to give you both of these lovely candy bars. Let me show you another box that we did in class the other, I think it was last month. We did this cute little box. It's open-ended, and it's just a pull type box. Put a Kit Kat, so you can see I used the same colors to make the box that matched with the candy. It was today's plan: consume chocolate and be awesome. Isn't that cute? So, don't forget, if you're interested in signing up for the class, go to stampin'crew.com. You can register and pay online. We're making 6 projects. These are not in the projects we're making. Those are just extra for you. But we will be making these 2 plus 4 more awesome cards. We've got a kid's card, we've got a cookie holder, a candy holder, and then a coffee card. All right, I'm going to show you one more because this is one of my favorites. Cookie Monster. Isn't that cute? I love it. I'm so excited. So today's the last day. So if you want to sign up, make sure to register online. And I think that's it for today. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I will see you soon. All right, bye-bye.